Just read this article on NPR. They kind of started it out by saying it's about gun control. They started it out by saying the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and they named him, and then they said, what, three liberals and the Trump appointee. Instead of calling them all judges, they sort of associated them with their agendas. Like Trump's appointee is an agenda. Like the three liberals weren't. But, you know, they stated the Chief Justice, which is probably, I don't know what he is. But then the other four that talked about this gun legislation law were just named as far as well, the three liberals weren't even named. It was just says the three liberals or something like that, and then I don't know if they said no Brent. They said his name. They didn't even put judge in front of it. Some lady wrote this. But they're talking about how they're, you know, they're saying the individual rights for people to own guns are, you know, is correct as far as what the amendment says, but they're not saying anything about militia. Yet militias, the word's right there, and in the amendment, and they're like saying that it's like it didn't have anything to do with militia, and it's what's the word militia mean? You know, I mean, these people, they just lie through their teeth. They don't care if it's truth or not. They lie, and then later, I mean, they don't. It's like they jump all over Trump for talking, you know, stuff, and yet they themselves, when it comes to writing laws and stuff, he's just talking. Trump's just talking, and they're just riding him like he's a dead horse. But yet they're sitting there against our Constitution, against the Bill of Rights, and they're just lying about everything, just changing whatever they want, and nobody says anything about them. You can see they're lying, but they're making these laws. So if you know, we have the rights as citizens, as law-abiding citizens, in which laws are infringements. I mean, you know, as long as it's, why's you got to be law-abiding? You know, just like they said, somebody said citizens. You know, we're citizens. Take the law-abiding out, we're citizens. But these people that do the mass shootings and stuff, or whatever, they're not law-abiding citizens. They've taken themselves. I don't even know if it's an outlaw. I don't even know if an outlaw. I think an outlaw would be, has a whole different meaning other than, you know, what that is. That's somebody that has chosen, you know, their lifestyle. You know, a mass murder. I don't know what their choice was. It might have been something that they've thought about for years, but it's not a lifestyle change. Now, they might have changed their lifestyle working up to it, but it's like the only lifestyle they're going to have after they do it is they're either going to kill themselves or they're going to end up in prison, possibly hanged or whatever. So more than likely they're going to end up, I don't know, they probably keep them alive, but anyway. So all the citizens have these rights, and they abide by them. You know, they got all these deaths that are coming from other things besides mass shootings or whatever. So the government is writing laws which pertain to criminal activity. I don't know anywhere in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, where it says anything about laws are written or your rights are taken. Apparently, if there's crime, you don't have rights. Because they're almost making it like a crime is therefore you don't have rights. Like crime is, so therefore you don't have rights. And this doesn't even make sense that crime has anything to do with rights. I mean, crime is usually a moral issue. Like you've gone. In fact, crime is where you've gone against the rights. Is where you have a right until it affects somebody else. And but the government doesn't adhere to that. The government is invasive, intrusive into everybody's individual rights. They're writing laws to infringe all these rights. So how come there's no, how come there wasn't written? Maybe that's where the tyranny comes in. Maybe this writing against your rights, writing all these laws infringing rights, is where the tyranny is set. It doesn't have to be that they're out there taking stuff. They are taking stuff. They're right there taking stuff. They're taking your rights. They're changing your rights. They're confronting your very existence, telling you what you can do, where it has to do with your protection. Some 90-year-old woman, she's living alone in her house. What's she supposed to do? Learn MMA to defend off somebody that breaks into her house? That's the reason they got guns. And all these people talking, well, it's all about militia and has nothing to do with defense of yourself. It has everything to do with the defense of yourself. In fact, the more advanced society becomes, it has more to do with defending yourself. You think you go up against a criminal that wants to do harm or steal from you, break into your house? You think hey, I'm awake here, and there might be a criminal that's like, never done it before, but a hardened criminal that's going to take what they want. Like these people that are attacked in their homes and murdered and stuff like that. What do you think those criminals? Well, wait a second. This is my house, and and then whatever words it takes to get the criminals out there. They're going to either tie you up and whatever they, whatever scenario that they're depending on or they've planned. Like if this happens, or even if they didn't, they might be in the moment. It doesn't matter. They've still broken into your house, and therefore they've broken the law. And it's not. And if you're walking around, if you're driving in your car, if your basic existence is your own. You're dependent. You're more dependent on yourself because cops aren't going to be. In fact, how many crimes do cops actually stop? How many? They think, well, just they might stop speeders if they're sitting out there on radar. But or they might stop cocaine because they stopped a speeder because they pulled him over for speeding or whatever, or or an infraction of whatever. But then they get into normal people and they start trying to take their rights, and they just say, hey, let us just off suspicion. They don't have any reason to search. They don't say, oh, I see a pipe sitting in there, or if it's illegal in that state, or whatever reason it is, they go to search. But I'm saying they're writing all these laws against our rights, to infringe our rights, because of criminal activity, which helps criminals go against, they're unarming the citizens. The ones that want to be armed, the ones that'll protect themselves, the ones that, you know, more than likely they have a higher percentage of living through a crime than does an unarmed citizen. An unarmed citizen, if they don't want to protect themselves, you know, that's, you know, they're waiting on a cop. But that's their right to, you know, if they don't want, if they think their words are going to stop, you know, or they think, well, just give them all your money, you know, that's not how I believe life is. It's like, you know, if it goes up through, you know, this comes up through animal defense, you know, animals defending themselves. And then it comes up to, up through the human, not up through, but into the, you know, that self-defense comes into humans. You have a right to, you know, are you going to be able to outrun a group? Are you going to be able to outrun somebody that surprises you? You're not ready for them. You don't know what they're doing. You think, well, maybe I can talk my way out of it. These scenarios they're writing for a crime that's been committed. And, you know, if these criminals, they could have the laws adjusted to help them in every criminal situation if they were smart enough to do crimes that would create the lawmakers to write laws adjusted toward their crimes. You know, laws are adjusted toward crime, and that's why they're trying to take these take your rights away. The Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the First, and all that is because of criminal activity. Has nothing to do, you know, the people in themselves should be able to carry on their rights without any of this judgment, any of this government influx, this government, this invasivism into our rights. In fact, the government, their infringement is a criminal activity because it's an infringement. They're writing against our rights, and it's an infringement, and they're like just flagrantly becoming criminals in front of our face. But since everybody's like, wow, what do we do about the people that write the laws infringing our rights? How, you know, nothing in there. There's no directions. There's no instructions as what do you do when well, you confront them. You take up arms against them. You know, of course, you'd have to take up arms only in the style. See, and that's what they know. You're gonna have to write against them. What? Then they use the First Amendment to censor you. You know, or the Fifth. You know, or they censor you with the Fifth Amendment. Or the Fourth. You know, they take paperwork. You know, they find something, and they can trivially write laws saying that this is illegal or that is illegal. I mean, right now, somebody legally owning that legally purchased is being confronted as being an illegal, you know, a criminal citizen, where they were legal. This is the, you know, you look up tyranny and who wrote the you know, after that was introduced against a tyrannical government, then they probably went to the dictionary and started rewriting the word tyranny. You know, liberals probably say, oh, well, you know, we're going to rewrite the word tyranny. Yet they're the criminals, you know, apparently they pushed criminal activity for writing laws against law-abiding citizens and infringing their rights, their freedoms. This is ridiculous.